and my uncle got the doll and snuck up behind me, and it would have these like slats, like jail bars, you know? And he like put it against it and like scared the living crap out of me, man.
Yeah, that would ruin me.
Yeah, it definitely didn't help my my life situation.
Meanwhile, let me pass on the good word about the new
Wonky Times.
richer, fuller.
Wonky Times.
They'll say it's incredible.
Wonky Times.
Well,
Wonky Times.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Matt.
And Robo Brian. And, you know what? It just so happens to be your birthday.
Heck yeah, Brian, it is my birthday.
I've got a special song for you. Well, actually, it's something you are familiar with, but it is my very own rendition.
You're all inspired by last week's episode, aren't you? We had Jim McGuinn. He's a musician. He was on the show last week, and he's the grandson of Roger McGuinn, who was the singer of the band The Byrds. Go back and listen to it if you haven't.
We even played a song together near the end of the episode.
Okay, Brian, let's hear this new song.
I've been practicing. And I can legally sing it too. Less than 10 years ago it was under copyright, but now it's free game. Okay, here it goes.
Can't wait. Ooh. You learned piano.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matt. Happy birthday to you.
Wow. Dang, Brian, this is actually pretty good.
Thank you for your support. I'm here all night.
What a day this is, Brian. I think I'll remember this day forever.
You know, I was looking into it and I learned about a few things that happened on your birthday, April 21st, 1984.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, the number one pop song on this day in 1984 was the song Against All Odds by Phil Collins.
Oh, I know that one. So take a look at me now. Something like that, right? But hey, did you know the artist and musician Prince died on my birthday back in 2016? Yeah, not too many people gave a rip about my birthday that year.
Would you like some cheese with that wine?
But anyways, what else have you learned, Brian?
The number one movie on this day in 1984 was Police Academy.
Oh, I love that movie.
And the price of gas was only $1.20.
What? Wow, $1.20 for gas. That's crazy.
Can you see? I'm wearing my birthday suit right now. I read online that it's appropriate for birthdays.
I don't think you, well, actually, I mean, yeah, you are. You're always butt naked. I've actually never seen you wear clothes before, Brian. You've got your nuts and bolts hanging out.
Okay, there is one more thing I want you to know.
Okay.
The number one novel for 1984 was The Talisman by Stephen King.
Ooh, scary. Hey, speaking of scary, Brian, I was afraid of a lot of things when I was a kid, like a lot of things. And I chatted with a couple of buddies of mine the other day, and we talked about some of the things that scared us growing up. Would you like to hear it?
Let it roll, birthday boy.
Okay, here it is. Also, put some clothes on, Brian. All right, so I've got my friends Bob and Charles here to chat about things that scare us. Ooh. Both of you guys are pretty creative people. Bob, you're a director at a TV station. You play Kalimba. What is the Kalimba if people don't know what that is?
It's like a thumb piano. I like to compare it to like a music box sounds. The little ding, 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 you know, just pleasant dreamlike nursery tones.
And then Charles, you're a film dude, and you do all kinds of film dude things in San Francisco.
You could say that. I think when I lived in Arizona, I did a lot more film stuff. But yeah, it's I do video stuff here and there. So
I have you guys here because we want to talk about things that scare us. You know, like things that scared me as a kid, things that I'm still afraid of. You know, like some people are afraid of heights. Then there's ghosts. You know, are you guys afraid of ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts?
The concept of ghosts is really weird to me. I've never experienced any paranormal activity. I don't know, it's so weird. Like when you think of a ghost, you think of like some guy from the 1940s, you know, where 1800s. There's no modern ghost. There's no dude from the 90s with a mullet. Acid wash jeans. I was talking about to someone like when a ghost is in a modern house, does he, and he's from like, old times, does he trip out on the size of my TV? Like, what the hell is that? Like the modern technology, or is it just like a blank room to them? There's so many questions I have.
He probably thinks you're doing some kind of witchcraft in your living room.
He just thinks it's a big painting because he doesn't see anything on there. He doesn't see me watching The Office on there,
He's seen The Office for all the seasons 3 times in a row now. He's like, why do we keep watching this, man?
Yeah. He's like, I'm leaving this house.
Yeah, I imagine the ghost would want to sit down next to me and just enjoy, this modern tech.
He likes the British version better.
Yeah.
The ghost is like sitting next to you, and you notice your popcorn is gone. Like, hey.
Yeah, dude, get some more.
So I wanted to show you guys some scary sounds. I want to like kind of creep you guys out because I don't get to do that very often anymore. This first one, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's a 911 call after a chimpanzee attack. So like, the person on the line claims that a chimpanzee has killed their friend and is now like pulling them apart and eating her. So here's the creepy 911 call.
What's the problem there? The chimp killed my friend. What's the problem with your friend? I need to know. The police come! With a gun! He ripped her face off! He ripped her face off?
Yeah, so anyways,
The monkey had a gun? Is that what it said?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. But that's scary. Did you guys see Nope?
Yeah. That scene with the chimp was the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, I wonder if that was like inspiration, But that would be scary if a monkey came in, arms flailing.
Oh yeah,
with guns ablazing.
Well, the chimps specifically, man, those guys are so ripped. If you've seen them, with little to no hair, they have crazy muscle definition.
If they had proper gun safety techniques, just chip in.
All right, here's another sound. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you guys to like try to figure it out on your own. Ready? What do you guys think that is?
Sounds like somebody filmed outside of like an airplane.
It's kind of creepy though, right? Like,
yeah, no, it's definitely creepy. Like if I was sitting at home alone in the dark, I'd definitely be looking around for what's going on. Like a UFO? Is that a UFO sighting? I feel like that could be a UFO sighting.
It's Saturn. It's what Saturn sounds like.
No way.
That's pretty cool.
This next one is another 911 call from a dude in Washington State. He's freaking out, saying that there's a giant hairy person in his yard.
Ooh.
Is it Bigfoot? I don't know. Here.
Jesus Christ, you better...
Sure.
See ya!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
What do you think? Was it just a guy in his yard, or was it, it's Washington State. There's a bunch of Bigfoots up there.
That's the area, yeah.
That's great. That's definitely Bigfoot, though.
I don't even think I'd think to call 911 if it was a legitimate like Bigfoot spotting. I'd just be so amazed and freaked out.
That's for sure. I mean, if that was me and I saw that, I would not be that calm. I'd be like, yo, get the hell out here right now.
Would you invite him inside?
God, if he was looking at me like Harry and the Hendersons, that nice smile.
This next one is another phone call. It's a voicemail left by the Night Stalker. It was this guy in the 80s in LA.
Oh, yeah. Richard Ramirez.
Yeah, he left a voicemail at someone's house before he went in and like killed him pretty much.
So, yeah, this kind of stuff is like what really creeps me out.
True,
right?
the
like,
real.
I love ghosts and stuff, and like I'm all about like I want to believe and I want to be scared. I watched Taps growing up, the ghost hunter people, like religiously, and like that stuff like freaked me out, but like in a fun like I want them to be real. This stuff kind of like I'm good. This guy's nuts.
The true proven horrors of our world.
Yeah, it's like a little different. Hits different. Nah, thanks. I'm good.
And then he did.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
At least he he does what he says he's gonna do.
The first part sounded like, what was it, Sid from Hey Arnold, or who's the kid who breathes in the girl's ear all the time?
Yeah, the one that Helga always punches.
Yeah.
Here's the last one. It's the scariest one of all, so I'm not even gonna tell you guys what it is. You guys ready?
Yeah.
You got
just
me.
kidding. That's it. That's all the sounds I have.
I even listened to your podcast and I was like, this is going to be one of those things. It's not going to get me. And it just got me.
Yeah. I knew, and it was still funny.
It's true. Farts are always funny, though.
But yeah, those are all the scary sounds I have for
The Richard Ramirez, man, he was, I think he's still alive, locked up in prison. Johnny from work, you guys know Johnny, the editor from the news station. He told me this time, because he lived in the area. He lived in California at that time as a kid, or somewhat of a kid. He was maybe a teenager, but he said him and his like cousins and stuff would stay up late and leave there, because he would come in the like back windows or back kitchen doors and stuff, and they would leave their kitchen doors open and have knives and stuff waiting to capture the Night Stalker.
I know who you're talking about, and I could totally see this.
Yeah, Johnny.
That's great.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, like what scared you guys when you were kids? Like what was the scariest thing to you?
My dad used to tell me the scariest stories of like his father, like in West Virginia, in the backwoods, like creepy, like bloody bones, things like that. Like there's like folklore type stuff.
Charles comes from the East Coast, Pennsylvania area.
Yeah, a little more of those old school style, Paul Revere style ghosts Bob was talking about.
Yeah, there you go. Powdered wig ghosts.
Bloody bones, you said?
Yeah, you got like the story of Bloody Bones, which I think was just like a folktale style thing where like if you don't go to sleep at night and you're a kid, you try to stay up, like, and you hear creaking in the attic, it was Bloody Bones in her rocking chair, and she would like reach down and like get you if you were asleep.
I used to have roommates like that. That's not very scary.
They just stare at you in your sleep. You ever wake up and one's just looking down at you?
Yeah.
Bob, what are you afraid of, Bob?
Well, so luckily as a kid, the real life horrors, like, murderers and natural disasters and stuff, that I wasn't really aware of that. So for me, I wrote a list. Like it's a lot of like film and television. Growing up in the 90s, pre-internet, film and television was where we got our entertainment. And I'd like to say that our imaginations were working at a higher rate than kids nowadays, because kids nowadays are just bombarded with like videos and technology and stuff like that they don't have to use their imagination as much as we did for entertainment. So like we could see something and our mind would just go wild with it.
We didn't get all the information either. We would just have to take bits and pieces of it and like try to figure out the rest.
Yeah, you couldn't go online and and Google Michael Myers and see, it's an actor and he has a wife and kids and it's a full production and stuff. It was just it just existed, and you're just seeing this footage of a potentially real crazy person. But yeah, some of the things that gave me for right off the bat when I was a kid, dolls and dummies were
I didn't even think of that. Those are the worst.
Yeah, like they got me really bad until I was like 10, 11 years old, honestly. I'm embarrassed to say, but like Chucky, he's the prime. Like he used to freak me out as a kid. Slappy from Goosebumps.
That's the one that got me. That was bad. That's the worst.
The name Slappy is way more scary than Chucky, I'd say.
I just thought of this, but about those dolls, my uncle used to have one in my grandmother's house, and he like moved around a bunch, so he always like left some of his stuff there.
A ventriloquist dummy?
Yeah, like the real like slap, like or Charlie, I think it was called, with the monocle guy. But basically the same style dummy and stuff that like moved to like the little mouth thing. And it used to be just like folded up in her like her little desk drawer thing in like one of the back rooms, and I just would not go in that room at all. And then and then I guess when I got like a little bit older, probably like 10, I'm also embarrassed to say I was probably too old to be scared of this thing at this point. But she used to have these like shutters that would separate rooms, and my uncle got the doll and snuck up behind me, and it would have these like slats, like jail bars, And he like put it against it and like scared the living crap out of me, man. I like screamed, I like ran around the house like 4 times, and then like I didn't know what to do, but that thing, he got me really hard with that. And so,
that would ruin me.
Yeah, it definitely didn't help my my life situation.
Bob, did you watch Puppet Master when you were a kid, or is that just lately?
See, I wrote that down. I loved Puppet Master. Me and my sister were all about it. We loved it. It didn't scare me too much. I don't know, maybe because they were smaller, about a foot tall, as opposed to like a good 3 feet, like Chucky or a ventriloquist dummy would be. But I was a huge. But then Howdy Doody freaked me out. Remember Howdy Doody?
Yeah, he's in the same. I put him in the same Venn diagram as that. Like, no thanks.
He would drop down with the strings, and just start like dancing around. I think it's the like inhuman like movement that they have, the ventriloquist dummies.
But it's so mesmerizing too. It's like a part of you like wants to watch them, but also like you're scared to watch them.
Yeah, until they start moving on their own,
Yeah, it's like that weird, just like...
Yeah, because I think about back in the day, like puppets and stuff was prime entertainment in like the medieval days, they'd have the little puppet booth set up, and like back then, for any kind of technology, like they would be real, I imagine, like full-blown real, these things you're seeing, Yeah, that would be a trip.
Do you guys enjoy scaring other people? Like, whenever I've scared someone, I feel bad. Right, like immediately.
The remorse following. I don't remember ever scaring people as a kid. I wanted to be scared. Like that was my thing. Like growing up, I like loved like not so much the gory stuff, more of like I wanted to be like spooked by something, And so I used to. This is gonna sound really weird, but I used to like I found out that if you sleep in different areas of the house or like turn backwards in your bed, you would have nightmares. And I was like always chasing those like weird nightmares. I was like, I had this like awful nightmare. It was like the worst thing ever, but I was like, I kind of want to like experience that, because you can like, I don't know, like dreams, you can kind of control them, and it's kind of a weird. So I used to like take my blankets somewhere totally different in the house. I remember my dad stepped on me one morning because he would get up at like 4 a.m. to go to work and stuff, and I was like sleeping in front of his bedroom and like in the hallway, and I was like, this is a great spot. I put out like 5 blankets, 6 pillows, and I'd just be like, this is my new spot for the night, just to like have weird, creepy dreams. It didn't really work, but
did your dad stepping on you like influence your dream and like get incorporated into your dream somehow, like a giant squashed you or something?
No, he just told me to get the hell back in my room. I wish that would have been great. I was like, well, this is
because I do have an example, because like you said like outside things can influence your dreams, like changing positions or something. So one dream that happened to me like that, you guys know 13 Ghosts, Matthew Lillard and Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub me up. But I had a dream where I was like on this team of like SWAT agents with rifles, and they had these special flashlights where the beam of the light would show the ghost. Like those glasses would make the ghost appear. That when you shine that beam of light on those ghosts, it would appear. And so we're coming up on this house, and like what steps out of the house to meet us is like a 7 foot, 8 foot tall ghost of Jesus Christ. Like, and he was very scary. Yeah, he was the greatest ghost that ever lived.
You sure it wasn't just a tall guy with a beard and long hair
and a robe? Yeah, possibly.
It could have been a Jedi master.
Yeah,
but
Jedi
he was very intimidating and scary, and they were just trying to shoot him with whatever bullets they had, and it was doing nothing. Yeah. So I like in my dream I run up to him, and this is where the outside influence comes in. So he grabs me and he picks me up and he breaks me in half, just boom, folds me, and that happened to Matthew Lillard in the movie. That's how he dies. And I was so freaked out. I woke up and I had this wall that like went perpendicular into my bed, and I was leaning against it. Was digging into my side, and that influenced my dream. It made me die that way in my dream. I was feeling that thing on my side, and boom, got broken in half that way. So I think there's something real to that.
Yeah, that's
great. I definitely agree with that.
Another one along those lines that I've always wanted to try, but I've heard this works, is all right, if someone's got their feet, like pointed up or whatever, just their feet exposed when they're sleeping. I've heard that people, if you slap the bottom of their feet with like a book or something, or a paddle if you got one handy, like people have said it influenced their dreams to like they're falling from a great distance, and then when you smack their feet, boom, it's them hitting the ground. Which, that's mind blowing to me, like because that's some premonition stuff. Because the dream would have to, or it goes into that Inception, how a moment in real life could last hours in a dream. You know.
Then you put your fingers in some water and you pee.
Yeah.
Pranking kids.
That's another thing for sure.
Yeah, imagine doing both, like putting someone's hand in water and then smacking the bottom of their feet.
Smacking their feet, oh my.
They're falling and peeing at the same time. But yeah, I always thought that was interesting. Like, it's like you got shot in the side because something poked you in the dream. But that means the whole dream beforehand, it was like a situation in which you could have gotten, like, you know, shot. You know what I mean? Like, because you wouldn't know until. So yeah, it's like that is kind of a cool thought.
It like sets it up. It's like premonition. Like it can tell the future, you know, in basic terms. Like it sees, okay, your feet are about to get slapped. Let me start warping this dream so you're falling now. And then the slap happens, and then you're like, boom, okay, now you hit the ground. It's amazing. It's magical.
I feel like I'll have trouble sleeping tonight because I'm just gonna be thinking about all this stuff. You know?
You thought we were gonna scare you with ghost stories. We're scaring you with
with dreams. I'm afraid to sleep. Okay, Brian, that's the show for today. You know, that conversation actually went on much longer, and we'll be sharing a part 2 in the coming week or two. So stay tuned, Wonky people.
Yes, thanks for getting wonky with us.
Oh, and one last thing, you know, we would love to hear from all of you guys. You know, we want you to leave us voicemails. So you know what we did? We got a phone number. That phone number is 520-477-1942. So leave us a voicemail. It's also in the info section of this podcast. So
let us know if you've encountered anything wonky, because we'd love to share it on the show.
Yeah, heck yeah, Brian. Meantime, we've got some partying to do, don't we?
Yes, I've gathered the most impressive songs I could find on Napster. Let's boogie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matt. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Here's a quick word from our sponsor, Wonky Pet Portraits.
When Polly came into my life, I had no idea how much I needed the level of companionship that a dog provides. She lights up my life. And now, thanks to Matt Sterner and Wonky Pet Portraits, I have this incredible painting of her that celebrates the fun, cool, confident gal that she is. Everyone should have a chance to see their pet through Matt's eyes.
So what are you waiting for? Head over to wonkypetportraits.com to turn your pet companion into a real work of art.